Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari
Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Let me just put it on sharing. Hari.
Bol.
Okay, so we'll begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavada Sevaya Bhagavadi Uttama Sloge Bhaktir Bhavadi Naishtigim. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9. It is titled as the most confidential knowledge, and we will be taking the 9th verse today. So let's go to the verse. So the verse, you can repeat after me, or I will recite, or you can repeat after that. Najmam tani karmani nibadandhi dhananjaya udasina vadasinam astagam asaktam teshu karmashu nacha mamtani karmani nibadandi dhananjaya udasina vadasinam asaktam teshu karmashu nacha mamtani karmani nibadandi dhananjaya udasina vadasi asina asaktam teshu karmashu. Anybody would like to recite? Please go ahead. Today is an auspicious day. Please recite.
न च मां तानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय उदासीनवदासीनम् आसक्तं तेषु कर्मसु.
Okay. Anybody else? Prabhuji's? Please go ahead.
Nachamam tam karmani nabandhatri dhananjaya udasina vada asinam akshatam tesu karmasu.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll go word by word meaning, synonyms. Na, never. Cha, also. Ma, me. Tani, all these, all those. Karmani, activities. Nibadhanti, bind. Dhananjaya, O conqueror of riches. Udasinavad, as neutral. Asinam, situated. Asaktam, without attraction. Teshu, for those. Karmashu, activities. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So if you can repeat after me the translation, that'd be nice. Translation: O Dhananjaya,
O Dhananjaya,
all this work cannot bind me.
all this work cannot bind me.
I am ever detached
I am ever detached
from these material activities,
from all these material activities,
seated as though neutral.
seated as though neutral.
Purport: one should not think in this connection that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no engagement. In his spiritual world, he is always engaged. In the Brahma Samhita 5.6, it is stated, Atma Ramasya Tasyadi Prakrutya na Samagamaha. He is always involved in his eternal blissful spiritual activities. But he has nothing to do with these material activities. See, it's very clear, we mentioned there. Material activities are being carried on by his different potencies. The Lord is always neutral in the material activities of the created world. This neutrality is mentioned here with the word Udasinavad. Although he has control over every minute detail of material activities, he is sitting as if neutral. The example can be given of a high court judge sitting on his bench. By his order, so many things are happening. Someone is being hanged, someone is being put into jail, someone is awarded a huge amount of wealth, but still he is neutral. He has nothing to do with all that gain and loss. Similarly, the Lord is always neutral, although he has his hand in every sphere of activity. In the Vedanta Sutra 2.1.34, it is stated, Vaishamya Darganye na. He is not situated in the dualities of this material world. He is transcendental to these dualities, nor is he attached to the creation and annihilation of this material world. The living entities take their different forms in the various species of life according to their past deeds, and the Lord doesn't interfere with them. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalagaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthavidam Yena Bhudale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadadi Sapadantigam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Udabadagamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunadhanidam Tam Sajivam Sadhuidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalidam Shri Vishakha Nidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktum Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinamadidastu Ma Vidushavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So we were going through the 9th chapter, which is titled as Most Confidential Knowledge. So Supreme Lord reveals in this chapter about how one can attain Him and what is the most confidential knowledge about the Supreme Lord. So once who knows this knowledge revealed in this chapter, then one can easily approach Him, one can easily engage in His devotional service. So in the first verse itself, Supreme Lord revealing that to Arjuna, please hear from me the most confidential knowledge. That's why its chapter is titled as Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. Guhyam means most confidential. And we can see that the previous verses, even 2nd chapter and the 7th chapter and the 8th chapter, is also considered as the more confidential knowledge. More confidential knowledge. Knowledge of the Absolute. That's the 7th chapter. Is considered as, and the extension of the 7th chapter is attaining the Supreme. That's also more confidential knowledge. But this chapter is 9th chapter is known as the most confidential knowledge because this is the ultimate of all knowledge or absolute knowledge or the original spiritual real knowledge. So one who knows this knowledge can easily attain Him and he can attain the Supreme Lord. So here in the 2nd verse itself, Supreme Lord speaks, this knowledge is the king of education. So we know that we go for Vidya and Vidya, Arthi, we are all Vidyarthi, we are all the students of Bhagavad Gita. So out of all what is Lord spoken is this is the king of knowledge. This is Raja Vidya, king of all knowledge. So we know that king is the highest position on a state, right? King is on the highest position. So like that all the knowledge, this is on the highest position. And also Lord reveals that this is the most secret of secret. Sometimes we know that, don't tell the secrets to anyone, right? Because of this is so valuable, so much of it carries so much of value. So don't tell to anyone. And there are business secrets, there are personal secrets, and if you tell to somebody, then it affects you, right? So here the Supreme Lord is revealing to his devotee because of the quality of that devotee, because of Arjuna was never envious of the Supreme Lord. So one of the quality that Supreme Lord reveals the secrets to the devotees is that because he is not envious of his Supreme Lord, and he has faith. He has a very determined faith. So these two qualities is needed in order to understand the most confidential knowledge. So here Supreme Lord is revealing to Arjuna the secrets of all secrets, because of Arjuna was never envious of Krishna, and he was we can say that unconditional, unalloyed, and determined faith in Supreme Lord. And then further Krishna says that it is purest of the knowledge. And the reason that, and because it gives the direct perceptions of self by realization. So Krishna is revealing that this is the purest of the knowledge. Dear devotees, this is Supreme Lord's words. This is Supreme Lord is speaking. And what is the knowledge, and what is Vidya, and what is Avidya? Supreme Lord is saying that this is the most perfect knowledge and the most purest knowledge, because it gives the direct perceptions of the self by realization. So this is the importance of this chapter. Please, attentively and read and listen this chapter, so that we can realize the Supreme by ourselves. By this knowledge, we can realize the Supreme. By this knowledge, we can attain Him, and by this knowledge, we can have the self-realization. So this is very, very important. And it's also mentioned that it is the perfection of all religion. And religion means to love for the Supreme, right? To love for the Supreme, that's a religion. One who develops the love for the Supreme, that's a religion. Religion means that way we can develop the love for the Supreme. It is everlasting. And as it says that, this knowledge is eternal. And even if it is little bit, we understand, a little bit we engage ourselves in this knowledge, try to understand, then it is everlasting, it is eternal. And as it's Krishna says into the second chapter, 40th verse, right? Neho vikrama nasosti pratyavayo na vidyade solpam abhyasya dharmasya trayado mahado bhayan. Solpam abhyasya dharmasya, even if it is little bit that we understand this knowledge, and it can relieve from most dangerous things from in this world. So this is everlasting, this is eternal, this transcendental knowledge. So Krishna's name, quality and knowledge and everything about Krishna is eternal, dear devotees. And it is joyfully performed. And one who engages into the loving devotional service, he will develop and derive such a bliss and ananda by the devotional service or understanding this transcendental knowledge. So Krishna is telling that, further in the verses itself, that those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me. So dear devotees, this is one of the best, the most important quality of the devotee, or qualification of the devotee, is that he should be faithful. And further Krishna says that if we are not faithful, and if they are not engaging into the loving devotional service, then they have to come back into this material world again and again. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. This world is full of misery and suffering. There is birth, death, old age, and diseases is all out there. And this is what is every living entity has to go through. So Supreme Lord is revealing this transcendental knowledge and this truth and secrets of all secrets, dear devotees, how we can attain Him, how we can liberate from this suffering material world. So please, take these words very carefully. Srila Rupa Goswami also mentioned that into the, in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is mentioned like this: a steady devotee develops all saintly qualities. Srila Rupa Goswami authenticates this with the noted verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. Akinchana bhakti. Akinchana means unalloyed devotion. Person who have unflinching faith. akinchana, unflinching faith in Krishna, and are without any duplicity, can develop all these good qualities of the demigods. So it's very clear that one who is steady in the devotional service, he can attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead, an unflinching faith or unalloyed devotion. So then, Krishna further explains in the beginning of this chapter, Krishna says, and that's where the first 3 verses of this chapter is explaining about the most confidential knowledge and revealing the most confidential knowledge right there itself. And then the 4th chapter to the 10th verse, it's actually the material and the spiritual qualities of the Supreme Lord, and how Lord interacts with this material world. And Lord reveals that the supreme confidential knowledge, the secrets of all secrets, that everything comes from me. See, Krishna is revealing that, O Arjuna, by me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. So by me, right? Krishna is saying, by me, I am the cause, I am the effect. I am the cause and I am the effect. So that's what we can see that in this chapter, Lord is revealing that the secrets of what is the cause and what is the effect, and how it is manifesting, how it is taking place. So the entire universe is pervaded because of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All beings are in me. Krishna is saying that all beings are in me, but I am not in them. So we know that in these verses we can see that Krishna says in the Bhagavatam also that Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Sruyade, that supreme potency is manifested in various other energies. Parasya Shaktir, that supreme potency is manifested in various energies, and with that energies, everything exists, everything is manifested, everything is taking place, and everything is maintained by the Supreme Lord. We know that Mahavishnu is the maintainer, Brahma is the secondary creator, and the Shiva is the annihilator. But when we look at this Vishnu or Mahavishnu or Shiva or the Shambhu or the Brahma, all are the potency of the Supreme Lord. So we can clearly see that the potencies of the Lord is manifested as Brahma, manifested as Shambhu or Shiva, or even the Mahavishnu or Garbhodakshaya Vishnu or Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, like that. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna that, behold my mystic opulence, although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of these cosmic manifestations. The devotees, that's what Srila Prabhupada put in the purport, that a judge, under the superintendence, under the judge of this magistrate, that somebody hanged, somebody is relieved from the jail, somebody gets huge wealth, somebody is putting into the higher punishments, and so many things happening just because of that one person, the verdict of that one person. But the judge is, as soon as the verdict is finished, the court is over, he goes back to his home and he has nothing to do with any of these things. All the other things happening, the various departments of this, what is called this justice, criminal, justice department. So like that, everything comes from Krishna, but Krishna is not in any of these cosmic manifestations directly, but his potencies are there. So Krishna further says, for myself is the very source of creation. See, myself is the very source of creation. And this is the important fact that Lord is revealing how Lord is great, right? One who have unconditional love and devotion for him can understand him. And in the Brahma Samhita, Brahma also revealing this one. And it's very difficult. Even you have full knowledge of Veda. Advaidam Achyudam Manadim Manandarupam Adhyam Purana Purusham Navayauvanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhaktau. But one who has unflinching faith, unalloyed devotion, unconditional love for the Supreme Lord, he can understand the knowledge of the Supreme, and he can understand the Supreme, and how this all taking place, how it is manifesting, how Krishna is great, how Krishna is great. That only devotees can understand that. And then also in the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami revealing that the same principle, that Ada Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet na indriya Sevonmukohi Jihvadu Swayameva Spurati Yada is mentioned that Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. It's difficult if you think that, okay, I would go to somewhere else and I would, put all my senses over here and I will look at here and there. I would put my ears here and there and then, let me see and go and search the Lord in the ocean, Lord in the Himalayas, Lord in the trees, Lord in the sky. They cannot understand. They will not understand. They will not even come in the closer. But only that's why, in this world, so many people are trying with, the material blunt senses. They try to understand the Lord. And they make a huge hollows and the pipes and the tunnels to find out that the divine particles, God's particles, and how it is all manifesting. And still they are agreeing that there is some unseen potency that which makes everything possible. So they are trying to understand with their blunt senses, with their books and scholarly knowledge. But what they come up with, like in the Germany, they started with this to find this, the divine particle, like almost like 8 miles or something. Like they made a pipe and the tunnels, and they made such a huge hollows and system that they kind of split the atom and the neutrons and colliding the these electrons each other and trying to find out that what is coming out of all those things. And the conclusion is that they couldn't reach anywhere, but the conclusion is that yes, there is an unseen, there is a potency which makes everything possible, and they are agreeing with that. So this is the fact, dear devotees, and the knowledge of the Supreme, the realization of the Supreme cannot be understood by the blunt senses. And how we can understand? That can be understood by the devotional service. Ada Sri Krishna Namadina Bhavedna Indriya Sevon Mukohi Jihvadu Swayameva Spurati Yada. One who engages into that loving devotional service directly to that Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, then that Supreme Lord himself reveals to such devotees about the greatness of the Supreme Lord. So here Krishna is revealing that to Arjuna, that how Krishna is great, how this all material manifestations are taking place. So then further we can see that, in the Brahma Samhita, it is mentioned that in the 5.37, it is further explaining that Krishna never consort with his illusionary energy. So we can see that this material energy or inferior energy which Krishna is saying, that whatever is all pervading is actually his chit potency, or is actually known as his Maya Shakti or chit potency or illusory energy. So that's why it's actually making it as temporary. So this even Brahma is temporary. Brahma lives for 100 years. That means 311 trillion years. That is just considered as the half a second of the breath time of Mahavishnu. So we can imagine that even though this is all taking place, this material manifestation, which is just a temporary manifestations, but Lord provides everything and everywhere. So it is mentioned here that the Maya Shakti or the illusory potency which is provided into this material world, and that chit potency, that's also Krishna's potency, but it's known as the internal or the inferior potency or inferior energy of the Supreme Lord, is not indirectly connected with the Supreme. So it says that still her connection is not entirely cut off from the absolute truth. So there is, under the directions of the Supreme Lord, this Maya Shakti or illusory energy works. When he intends to create the material world, the amorous pastime, in which he engages by consorting with his own spiritual potency, chit potency, Rama, by casting his glance at the deluding energy in the shape of sending his time energy as an auxiliary activities. So whenever there is a will of the material creations or manifestations of this material world, what Lord does is actually just glance upon his chit potency or his illusory potency. He just glance upon that illusory potency is known as Rama or Uma or Parvati, likes that. So we are trying to understand how Lord is actually, how this all material manifestation taking place. And Krishna is revealing this transcendental, knowledge to Arjuna, the secrets of all secrets, knowledge to Arjuna, that how is all taking place. Then we can see that how the material world is created. Now just the glance upon the Supreme Lord to the material world, then then Jagat, it was Jada initially. The material world is Jada. All the material ingredients come out from the body of Mahavishnu, and from the body of Mahavishnu, all the ingredients, and then it is Jada initially. But just by the glance of the Supreme Lord, then what happens? It takes its own place, takes its own position, it takes its own behavior and character, and then it's actually manifest, and it makes us universes, and then it all comes out from the body of Mahavishnu. And then Mahavishnu also expand himself as a plenary portion as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu further expands and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So these three Purusha incarnations of the Supreme Lord is the cause of this material manifestation, cosmic material manifestation on this Jagat, on this, the material world. So that is, that's the way the creation comes. So, but it says that, it is just a, this is Supreme Lord's, it's Krishna's, just a it's like a blink of an eye. The potency, just like Krishna is just blink of an eye, this all manifestation takes place just by the, just blink of an eye. Just a glance of it, just a blink of an eye. So, then further it says that Mahavishnu, right? Mahavishnu, as we know that, this is we know that from the Sri Krishna, first incarnation, the internal potency in the spiritual realm, there is Supreme Lord Sri Krishna himself. From the Sri Krishna, Balaram expands, and from the Sri Krishna, Hladini Shakti, there are Dharani expands. From Balaram, there is a quadruple expansions of Chaturvyuha, expansions of Vasudev, Sangarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh. And from that Vyasudeva, there is a that's from the Sangarshan, that's called Mula Sangarshan. From the Mula Sangarshan, there is another quadruple expansion. From the Mula Sangarshan, there is Narayana appears. From the Narayana again, there is a second quadruple expansion. That's Vasudev, Sangarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh. And from that Sangarshana, then this Mahavishnu, the form of Mahavishnu manifests. So this is the way that everything manifests. The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, he is just his little chit potency of this, his glance on that, and then that is where it's actually all this manifestation take place. And up to this point of Mahavishnu, and before that, this Chaturvyuha expansion, they were all in the spiritual realm, in the spiritual world. And in order to create this cosmic material manifestation, the Lord expands as a plenary expansion as Mahavishnu. That's what we can see here in this slide. Then we can see that further. So Krishna says that, understand, Arjuna, Krishna telling to Arjuna, understand that as mighty wind blowing everywhere, rest always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. So Krishna is revealing that everything comes from him, but he is not in them. But everything is rest in him. Everything is his potency. Nothing that we can, say separate from him. And in the Bhagavad Gita, further we can say that, Krishna is telling to Arjuna that even if you are offering the fire, the ghee, the havis, the fire, everything is him. So he is everything. So Ramapad Maharaj was saying one time that there are only two things. One is Krishna, and the next one is Krishna's. Everything is Krishna's. And his potency and his manifestation, various manifestations, as it says that Parasya Shaktir Vivideva Suyade. So then Krishna further telling that to Arjuna, O son of Kundi, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. So, this is what is happening, that with the Brahma, the day of Brahma, as it says that 1000 Yuga cycle, it's almost like 8.4 billion years. That at the end of 8.4 billion years, there is a partial annihilation, and then everything goes back to the body of Mahavishnu. Then everything comes back, and that's what Krishna is revealing here. O son of Kundi, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestation enter into my nature. It's the nature of Mahavishnu. Look at that, the picture. And at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again, as we can see here. Then we can see further, Krishna says that the whole cosmic manifestation order is under me and is my under because of my will, and it's automatically manifested again and again, and under my will it is annihilated at the end. So it's all happening under the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as it says that not even a blade of grass moves without the will of the Supreme. Not even a blade of grass, because of everything is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we can see that later in the chapter, that next verse, maybe the 10th verse. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyade sacharacharam. Under my superintendence, all living entities, sacharacharam, moving and non-moving, all works under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then we can see further, then here we come to this verse of the 9th verse. And Krishna is revealing that, O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind to me. And all this work cannot bind to me. And by my potency, let me see, what is... Yeah. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. Yeah. So Krishna says that to Arjuna, whatever this is happening, whatever the creations, the annihilations, the maintenance, and all these things, which doesn't bind Krishna to any of this. That means, as Krishna says, reveals in the beginning, that everything is, because of me, it's happening. That everything rests in me, but I am not in them. Means that Krishna is not directly involved, so it's revealing the supreme position of the Sri Krishna, the supreme position of Sri Krishna. So we can see here, as Krishna is telling to Arjuna, and the Brahma also revealing the same thing. Brahma also, and putting that the position of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So dear devotees, in this chapter, Krishna is revealing that the supreme position and what to be understand. And the previous verses we've seen that once we understand this truth, or once we understand this knowledge, there is nothing beyond that. We know that when the beginning of the 7th chapter, Krishna reveals that Mataha pardaram jnanyat kinchidasta dhananjaya mai sarvamidam prodam sutre maniganaiva. There is no truth beyond me, O Arjuna. See, Krishna is revealing to Arjuna, there is no truth beyond me. So like that, Krishna is revealing that none of this will bind me, because of my position is not into this material world. I'm not directly interact with this material world, but my agents are actually in place. So that's what we can see here. That's why it's very important that we understand this confidential knowledge. So here the Brahma says that I worship Govinda, the primal Lord, residing in his own realm, which is known as Goloka, with Radha resembling his own spiritual figure. So dear devotees, look at that, so beautiful, beautiful form. So beautiful, and this world, the spiritual realm, which is, you can see that in the left side picture. And where is this spiritual, where is this material sky in this entire cosmic creations? And it's just a cloud in the corner of the spiritual sky, but beyond that, the material, and we can see that there is a spiritual realm which has 1,000 lotus petals. In the wall of that spiritual lotus petals that in the middle, that's called Goloka Vrindavan. There, the Supreme Lord Sri Radha and Krishna, and eternally into the abode, and they are engaging in such an activities. Sanandambudhi Vardhanam, and there Krishna is ever youthful. And as we can see that, it's a spiritual realm that there is cows, there are gopas and the friends, there are Govardhana, there are streams, there are beautiful gardens, and all has such a potency that, Ankaneyasya Sagalendriya Vidivanti. That means every tree, every, leaf, everything has full of potency, full of knowledge. So this is the nature of the spiritual realm. Material world is everything is decaying, everything is temporary, everything perishes, everything is just for time being here in this material world. But the spiritual realm which Krishna is revealing, that, the supreme abode is never annihilate, or it will be always eternal. And this is the This is the reality in the spiritual form, so that you can see that. So Brahma is revealing here in the Bhagavad Gita verses, or in the Brahma Samhita verses, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of all of the ecstatic potency, possessed of the 64 artistic activities, 64 kala. The Krishna is complete. Why Krishna is complete? There is nothing beyond that. Krishna has full potency and qualities. In the company of her confident Sakhis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, and prematured and vitalized by the ever blissful spiritual rasa. So we can see that a few of those pictures like that, which resembles, which gives us the complete, the idea, understanding of the spiritual realm of Krishna. He is the complete, here see that. The spiritual world, the Goloka Dham, there, ever-ending, there is everlasting pastimes, never-ending pastimes, always, as he says that, Ananda Mudivardhan, this is the nature of the spiritual realm. And the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna reveals that, the 15th chapter. Na tad bhasayado surya na shashanga na pavagaha idi gatva na nivartande tad dhama paramam mama. One who reaches my abode, or dear or Jina, my abode is never illuminated by the sun or moon. Natat bhasayado surya na shashanga na pavagaha. One who reaches my abode will never return to this material world again. So this is the abode Krishna is speaking, and this is the abode where Krishna is, eternally, residing. And Krishna never leaves Goloka Vrindavan. Krishna never leaves Goloka Vrindavan. So all what we saw, what we are seeing is anything related with Krishna is a pastime. Anything related with Krishna is a pastime. And even in the Dwaraka, we know that there is a five parts. This Goloka Vrindavan is divided into 5. One is known as Dwaraka. Dwaraka is actually Vasudev Krishna is there in Dwaraka, and in Madhura, the Vasudev Krishna. Swetadeep, there is another part called Swetadeep, and there is another part called Madhura, then Vrindavan, right, and Swetadeep, and then Ayodhya. These are the various, these are the internal potency, by the internal potency of the Lord. These are the various divisions of the Goloka Vrindavan, and in the topmost is actually called Goloka Vrindavan, there eternally, that Supreme Lord. And that Vrindavan, Krishna never leaves the Vrindavan. Krishna never leaves. And Krishna's further plenary expansions known as Vasudeva or Sangarshana or Pradyumna or Aniruddha, in the form of, like even Lord Ram as an expansion, that Krishna's potency and expansions. So on the Ayodhya, Swetadeep, likes that. Krishna never leaves the, Vrindavan. So there eternally, everlasting pastimes, engaged in the pastimes of the Supreme. There are beautiful ways that Acharyas describes about the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So beautifully and so nicely, Sri Rupa Goswami mentioned about the Madhurya Kadampini. There is Brihad Bhagavatamrita, there is Legu Bhagavatamrita, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's Govinda Leela. So many wonderful, So Acharyas, they could see, and they can see, and they can enter into the realm of Goloka Vrindavan by their, unalloyed devotion, unflinching, loving devotion to the Supreme. Only by that method, only that means that we can understand, and we can see, and we can understand about this abode of the Supreme Lord, or the Supreme Lord. The devotees, this is what is the confidential knowledge Krishna is revealing to us. It's very important. So this is the most confidential knowledge about the Supreme and the Supreme abode of the Krishna. So here, further we can see that it's so beautiful. See, this is happening in Goloka Vrindavan. And Krishna has friends. Krishna sit together, and this cannot be possible in the material world. Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, he is the cause of everything. He is the creator. He is everything. He is a Sarva Karana Karanam. That Krishna, with the devotees, unalloyed devotion, Krishna is attracted to those devotees. See, Krishna is attracted to those devotees, those who are unalloyed devotion to the Supreme. And then they are all attaining the abode of Krishna, and they are engaging into the loving devotional service and engaging into the pastimes with Krishna in each other and everlasting and ever existing, ever existing. And Anandambudhi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamurdaswadhanam. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealing that this pastimes of the Lord, Anandambudhi Vardhanam, which is ever increasing the joy and the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, as we can see here. And then this is the beautiful realm of Goloka Vrindavan. So that Krishna is eternally, engaging in the pastimes with the most beloved devotee, the supreme devotee of Sri Krishna, Srimati Radharani, and then Sagis and Ashta Sagis, and then the expansions of the further Sagis of 108 gopis, and further, then Manjaris and the servants, and innumerable that we can see that even Radharani herself has, it's mentioned in one of the books, that 630 millions of servants. And then there are innumerable manjaris and close associates, and Krishna has such a person. So these are all devotees, dear devotees. This is not just what is called some mythological concepts. This is from the realizations. This is from the devotees' realization, as we can see that. And so many of devotees, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, right? Raghunath Das Goswami, like that, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami. So many wonderful, exalted devotees, they experienced this, with the pastimes they are experienced, because of they are not ordinary souls. They are the they are the manjaris. They are the Rupa Manjari, Rupa Goswami, right? Kanaka Manjari, Anaka Manjari, Nayana Manjari, and so many manjaris. They are named it. They're all manifested on this earth just to reveal this beautiful abode and the secrets, the confidential knowledge of the Supreme. And that you can see here, the beautiful, the abode, and how Krishna is engaging there, as it says that. And in the Brahma Samhita, it's very nicely explained about the details of Goloka Vrindavan. If anybody, please read the Brahma Samhita, you'll understand the abode of, this is Brahma scene, the abode of the Goloka Vrindavan. Brahma is, describing about the glory, about the beauty of Goloka Vrindavan. So Krishna is there. Krishna is everywhere. Krishna is with everyone, and each and everyone in the Goloka Vrindavan. Krishna personally serve each and everyone, and every devotee get an opportunity to serve Krishna personally. And this is the greatness of the Goloka Vrindavan, dear devotees, the spiritual realm, spiritual abode. Then we can see that further here, it's a beautiful pastimes. I end of the Krishna side is little, So you can see that, and with his devotees. And we can see the beautiful way that how Krishna is taking care of his devotees. We can see that in Vaikuntha, we always see that, the lotus feet of, Lord Vishnu. But in Goloka Vrindavan, it is opposite. Krishna serves the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and massaging the feet, and it is revealed, and it is revealed by Krishna himself. And how Krishna revealed this beautiful pastimes. And we know that in Jagannath Puri, Jayadev Goswami was a very pure devotee of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. As we know that there is Gita Govinda. When Jayadev Goswami was compiling the Gita Govinda, and Jayadev Goswami wrote this particular instance, Jayadev Goswami wrote it into the Gita Govinda. Jayadev Goswami mentioned that, it says that, Pada Pangaja Pada Pallava Udaram. It's mentioned that, Pada Pangaja Pallava Udaram. Means it's mentioned like that. That means Krishna bent down and touched the lotus feet of, bent down and touched the lotus Pada Pangaja Pallava Udaram, means touched the lotus feet of Krishna. And Jayadev Goswami wrote down like that. And then also he had a, rethinking. He just thought about that. No, it's not possible, because of Krishna is the supreme. He has a supreme position, and Krishna will not take that position. And also Jayadev Goswami also wanted to put Krishna in that such supreme position. And then Jayadev Goswami just removed that line from the Gita Govinda. Then what happened? Then Jayadev Goswami then thought of, it's a lunchtime. Let me go and take bath in the river and Ganges and then come back. So Jayadev Goswami just left the home, and Jayadev Goswami's consort, wife known as Padmavati, Padmavati then was, preparing the food. And immediately after the Jaydev Goswami left, after a few minutes, and then Jaydev Goswami, coming back and told that, okay, I'm done, and I came back, and Jaydev Goswami, this immediately, the came back after, and then went inside the room, and then, whatever it was cut down, and it's actually put it back, and it says that, Pada Pangaja Palla Udaram, and it's written back there, and then told that, I'm hungry, give me the food, and, let me eat. So Padmavati gave all the wonderful lunch to the this Jaydev Goswami and said that, okay, let me go and let me come, and then I'll come back. So then Jaydev Goswami just left. So when Jaydev Goswami left, after some time, then the original Jaydev Goswami came back and told, I took a nice bath and I'm so hungry, and then give me prasadam. So Padmavati was a little bewildered what to do, and he told that, are you mad that you just came and you just ate and you went into the room and you wrote and you came back, you ate and you lunched and you just went out, and now you're coming back and telling me that again, I'm hungry and I'm just came back now. And then Padmavati was very bewildered, and Jaydev Goswami was also, telling what you're talking about. I just went to the bath and it was taking bath all this time. And then, then Padmavati told whatever has happened. And then Jaydev Goswami ran inside to the room and this in the Gita Govinda and look at that, that what is happened there. And Jaydev Goswami could see that Krishna is actually put back that line that, Pada Pallava Udharam, that Krishna is touching the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and massaging the lotus feet. And it was declared by Krishna himself that, and Krishna does this. And dear devotees, this is the Goloka Vrindavan. This is the beauty, and this is Krishna is there to serve even devotees, and that's called Sri Krishna Agarshani, by the loving devotion. When devotees can attract Krishna, and Krishna will attract Mana Mohana, right? Mana Mohana, and Krishna is also, Radharani is known as Mohana, Mohini, and likes that all. So devotees, that Krishna is attracted only by the loving devotion. Krishna is attracted to the devotion to the devotees. So that is very important. So only by this means, so this is the supreme confidential knowledge, dear devotees, that the secrets of all the secrets, that Krishna is the supreme and is abode. Only by the loving devotion one can, attain that supreme abode. There everything is so eternal, so it is everlasting, eternal, ever existing, and full of bliss, and full of potency, and full of knowledge. And as we can say that in the Golok Vrindavana, it is mentioned that I worship Govinda, the primal Lord, who resides in his own realm, Golok with Radha, who resembles his own spiritual figure and who embodies the ecstatic potency, Hladini Shakti. Their companions are her confidence, who embody extensions of her bodily form and who are imbued and permeated with the ever blissful spiritual rasa. So this Brahma is revealing that such a beautiful descriptions of the Golok Vrindavana, dear devotees. So then further it is as we can see that. See here in the picture the Golok Vrindavana and the bottom, and here the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is having a Sankirtan and such a beautiful ecstatic loving devotion to the Supreme with the Mridanga and Sankirtan, and immersed into that rasa of that chanting the holy name. That means as if that in the Golok Vrindavan. So why this picture depicts like this? By this devotion, by this ecstasy, by the devotion, by this chanting of the holy name, congregational chanting, Sankirtan, and then everybody can enter into that realm of that abode, that's by the Golok Vrindavan, and everybody can enter. And it also reveals, Srila Rupa Goswami reveals that one who chants the holy name sincerely and purely, they can enter into the nature of that, Golok Vrindavan, and they can enter into the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not just the Sankirtan, but this is also the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. That revealing that by this process of devotion, one can attain that supreme abode, that supreme Lord. He is completely aloof from all these material creations, and also, dear devotees, devotional service also completely aloof from all the material activities. It is completely spiritual. It is not material. It's completely spiritual. So any devotional service with the that loving devotion for the Supreme that we perform is completely spiritual. That means we are also, entering into the spiritual realm and with the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So, dear devotees, and we are, this chapter is very, very wonderful and confidential knowledge. It's revealing to us. It's very important that we understand this. By the mercy of the Lord and the devotees, we can understand this confidential knowledge, like this. So in the last verse, it says that, as it says that just fix the mind upon me. Krishna is telling the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me, thus you will live in me always without a doubt. So this is what is, dear devotees, that we need to do. So that we should always fix our, that's Srila Prabhupada put, that Krishna consciousness. Fix our mind, consciousness and intelligence for the Krishna. So that's the real Krishna consciousness. And this way we can attain that eternal abode with Krishna. Everything else is temporary. Everything else is temporary. But what is permanent, what is eternal, what is everlasting is Krishna. That's absolute and supreme knowledge. So with this note, I would end here. Thank you so much for listening and being there. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. So are there any comments, any concerns, any questions, any reflections? Please open up. You can discuss today's Ekadashi. Anybody would like to add anything? It's a time for reflections. Please go ahead. Anything you would like to add? Hare Krishna. Yeah. Go ahead.
Haribol Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam, all
Hari
girls.
Pranam.
Prabhuji, you took us to the abode today, with all those pictures. I'm like really in that mood right now.
That was exactly my intention. I put some
So
time.
beautiful, so beautiful. I'm just thinking about the pictures only.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so beautiful.
that was my intention, that sometimes we just say something, but when there is a picture and it's beautifully described, so many books out there, so many ways, and the beautiful abode of the Goloka Vrindavana, so wonderful.
Prabhuji, I had we were talking, like you were talking about the unflinching faith in Krishna.
Yeah.
So I've always, like, not now, but always thought about this, that what happens is you try to have faith in, like, just, like you hear all the time that Krishna promises protection, like he'll always protect his devotees. So with me, what happens is, like, yes, I think about these things, and but at the same time, a voice at the back says, but karam to like bhugatne padenge, like, so that the total faith never comes.
Yeah.
Because you feel like, whatever your karma, like whatever you have done, your deeds, you'll have to suffer because of that.
Yeah.
So no matter if Krishna promises that he will protect, but still you will have to do the suffering. So that full faith, which should be there, and that hurts me because, I want to put my full faith in Krishna, but then I feel that voice telling me at the back, no, but, like, you have to suffer because of your karma, you have to go through that. So how to get over that? That brings that brings fear too, which all these things should not be there, when you are like, you're trying to have full faith in Krishna. Yes, you know that, कि अब तुमको अपने कर्म तो भुगतने पड़ेंगे, but at the same time, you feel the guilt, that kyun Bhagwan mein, like why don't I have total faith in God? Like why is this doubt coming in my mind? I feel bad about that.
Yeah, that's quite natural. Even even Draupadi had the same, right? And everybody, pretty much everybody has that. because we still bind or bound by this material world or the material energy. I think it's very difficult to overcome, as Krishna is also agreeing that, right? Says that, right? Devi Yasha Gunamaya Maumaya Durataya Mameve Prabhadyande Mayam Evan Tarantide. Yes, we are completely bound by millions of lifetimes of karma and the attachment. We are bound by this material world, and we are completely, under the spell of this material energy. So it's difficult. It's difficult. It's true. But the way that we can come out of it, that completely by our endeavor, by our efforts and endeavor. So like you can think that, you can imagine that, maybe 20 years back when you begin this Krishna consciousness. Yes, I read, I chant, but still, you're completely material. You may be, not seeing any kind of difference between eating. You don't see much difference between engaging into the material activities or spiritual activities. We say all gods are same. Okay, I can go here, I can go here, I can go here. But eventually, by your efforts, by your chanting at least, and then by the mercy, you got an initiation from the spiritual master, who is a pure soul in this, the representative of the Lord. So you could make some progress, and you could get initiated, and you could, by the guidance and by the mercy and by the instructions, you are able to chant 16 rounds. So there is a mercy, right? There is a mercy. If this mercy was not there, we don't even chant, we don't even care about, we don't even just completely engage in so many other things. But you have a mercy now. Yes, still we are just begin. That's called initiation. We are not end reach there. So this is the journey, Mataji, as unflinching faith that we have. That means we are gradually reaching there. Unflinching faith. That means we are gradually reaching to that point of surrender or Saranagati, that completely Krishna. So in the case of Draupadi was when Dushasana was disrobing Mother Draupadi, and Mother Draupadi was holding her sari, as naturally everybody does that. Whatever that they could put into that place. But some point of time that we will realize that, yes, whatever we are trying to put ourselves will not work. Will not work. So that's why, when everything goes smoothly, then we don't realize things, that, okay, how things are, how I am making progress in the spiritual life. That's why sometimes in devotees' life, some kinds of, what is called calamities, sufferings and all comes. In that situations, and, how they are actually behaving, whether they have faith in the Lord. They have unflinching faith in the Lord. So sometimes, people comes to that situation, that edge of their life. Sometimes so many, problems. So many, these are all, Acharya says, the great devotee says that these are all mercy of the Lord, that to test us, to make us so faithful, so unflinching faith in the Lord, that no matter what, Lord will protect me. Right? No matter what, Lord will protect me. So then that's the case of like Draupadi was trying to hold her sari, but some point of time Draupadi could see that I'm helpless now. I'm helpless. So now the only shelter that is Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Only shelter is Supreme Lord. So Draupadi was calling out Krishna, but holding at the same time on the saris, but then we are completely we have some kind of faith in ourselves, that I can do this, I am that, I am this. But the moment Draupadi just left the hands off from the sari and cried out, Krishna, protect me, Trahimam, protect me, Krishna came and rescued. Right? So yes, we are all into that point. We are just beginning this. We are just begun our spiritual journey, Mataji. Yes, the moment we have that complete faith in Krishna in all respect, that then we won't even bother about anything else in our life, or our family, or our children, or whatever it is. And we have complete faith in Krishna, that is, Krishna will take care of everything. I am just a puppet, like Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada came to that point. Srila Prabhupada said that, oh Krishna, I am your puppet. Otherwise, if Srila Prabhupada didn't have a faith in Krishna, a 70-year-old man and how we'll take that step to come to the Western world and crossing over 7 oceans and a month-long journey in a Voyager ship and heart attack, and doesn't have that faith in Krishna, and then, come to that point. And Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, right? Oh Lord, you have some plan. I know that you will have some plan. So that's why you brought me here. See that? That's why you brought me here. And Srila Prabhupada said that, when I go down in the Boston Harbor, I didn't know that whether I should make left or right. This is what it is. But Srila Prabhupada had unflinching faith in Krishna. So we are all getting there. So why it is how it happens? Because of our endeavor, Mataji. So we should have that endeavor and we should pray, and we should follow the instructions of the spiritual master. That's why we have spiritual master guides us, and we have to follow the orders of instructions of spiritual master and the devotees and the senior devotees. We should put our endeavor maximum to serve the Lord and the devotees. So all mercy comes from our endeavor. So we should put our endeavor in such a way that and hear and the chant and the loving, engage in the devotional service, as it's mentioned that in the Srila Rupa Goswami, Sevon Mukohi Jihwadi Swayam Eva Spuradiyada. So this Krishna will reveal this transcendental knowledge, and Krishna will reveal some point of time that yes, Krishna is, there for me. Krishna will personally, come, and there will be instances that every devotee, there will be an instances Krishna comes directly and personally come, and in many instances that to come, and Krishna's presence and Krishna's hands and Krishna's in everything, and certain circumstances and situations we can feel and experience that Krishna's hands and Krishna's presence. And sometimes we feel that, so many instances are out there. Some people, devotees, Krishna rescued, Krishna is there in their life in so many instances out there. So yes, so when we have that faith, and yes, we start with our faith, and with that faith, then we, put ourselves in endeavor to engage in the loving devotional service, or, Sevan Mukha, or, there is 9 ways of bhakti, primarily, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, put ourselves in that shoe of as a devotee. That's why, we got an initiation, that we changed our name, Sachi Mada Devi Dasi or Das. Why? Because we are all now servants of the Lord. So our complete understanding must be that I am the servant of the Lord. So that Lord is there, that Lord is making, Lord is, the everything for me. And I should serve the Lord every day without fail. I should follow the instructions of the representatives of the Lord. So this way that we develop our faith is we purify, right? Chedo Darpanam Arjanam purifies our anarthas. That means our unwanted desires, kama, krodha, moha, lobha. These are the ones binds us in this world, and then takes away from Krishna. When we go away from Krishna, our faith loosens, our everything, then we get more material contaminations. Then this is the way that we can purify ourselves and relieve from these material contaminations. And then we are purified enough from the material contamination, we situate into that spiritual realm that yes, we experience that the hands and the mercy of Krishna and the Guru, and then we can see that yes, Krishna is there for everything. And then it's actually, strengthen our faith in such a way that like Draupadi, then we can release our hands. And we can release our hands. There was a story like this. One blind man was coming, and he fell into a well, and luckily he caught hold of a rope. And this is natural. We are all this is natural that we are trying to escape and save ourselves from whatever the means that we can get in this material world. So this blind man caught hold of this rope and crying, Lord, please save me, and help, and please save me, please save me, please save me. And then Lord came and said, you leave first of all that rope. You are caught you're caught hold of this rope, and this you just leave it. Then only I can take you up. You just hold that. The meaning of this one, the moral of this one, as long as we are trying to cut hold of this material world, dear, Mataji, then what will happen? Our faith will not become stronger. So we have to minimize, this is very important, we have to minimize our material desires and material needs. Leave simple living and high thinking. And Srila Prabhupada always, put that simple living and high thinking, and simple living, and put that ourselves in such a way that we are able to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we are able to chant in the every day, we are able to hear devotees attend the association and temple services. This way, this strengthen, and then we come out from the material impurities. That means that's binding us. And we come out from that, then we situate in the real pure spiritual platform, in that pure spiritual platform. And then we all can completely, Krishna will be completely there. Like just for an example of Srila Haridas Thakur, such a faith in the Lord that 22 marketplaces, the soldiers were beating the Haridas Thakur, and Haridas Thakur was such a faith in the Lord will save. Yes, Haridas Thakur was not even feeling anything. At the time of Mahapragashana Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita showed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's back. All these beatings, like 22 marketplaces and all these beatings, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed that was hit on the back of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or the Lord, because of unflinching faith in the Lord. So Krishna always protect that, Ananyas Chindayandoma, one who has unflinching faith, unalloyed devotion, unparalleled devotion to the Supreme. I would take care of them. I would take care of them, and I would provide them what they lack, and I would carry what they have. And Krishna also says that, Sarvadharma and Parityaja, abandon all varieties of, religious things and principles and surrender unto me. I will take care of you. And all these are out there, but we are still bound by this material energy with our desires. So the first thing is actually we should have that, desire to serve Supreme and the devotees. With that desire, we develop that propensity of devotional service. By that devotional service, we purify, then we can situate in that spiritual relevant platform, and that will clean our heart. And then we can more realize, we can more understand, then we can more and more come to that state of, like initially we are sadhanas, right? That's what is sadhana bhakti. So sadhaka bhakti or sadhana bhakti is, just practicing devotees. We are not up there. So then by the practicing, then we develop the raga bhakti, attachment to the Supreme. And it doesn't stop there. And it's go further, and we come to the real, bhava, the state of bhava. And this Mataji, you are mentioning that unflinching faith in the Supreme is come to that state of, the raga and the bhava state. Yes, we are practicing, and by the devotion, we can reach there.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Wonderful explanation. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Hare Krishna. Nanda Prabhu, Dandavat.
Dandvat Prabhu. All praise to Prabhu.
All
All
praise.
praise to you. Mataji, this question which you asked, maybe 20-25 years, I had the same question, and 3 people helped me with it. Of course, Simeshwar Prabhu has covered it comprehensively, but the other, and so 3 people, one is my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Swami, and 2 of my Shiksha Gurus, Bhakti Rasamrit Swami and Srila Bhakti Charu Swami. So, what Radhanath Swami says is that faith is something that we need to develop, and it's basically a work in progress. Faith is not something like, suppose we are running a 100-meter race, and okay, I've reached the end now, I've finished the race. So faith is an ongoing process, and different people are at different stages, and faith is very dynamic. We can either be progressing or we can be regressing. That's one thing. So it's not like an on-off switch. We put it on and it's on, you switch it off. It's not binary. So faith is something which is always a work in progress. Now, Bhakti Rasamrita Swami, he had explained this thing about karma, which you had mentioned, that I understand that Krishna will always take care of me. But at the same time, I know that I have karma of this life and previous life. So what Maharaj had explained is that if I can put it in context, faith is something which dilutes karma. In the sense, Maharaj explained that when we have faith, and stronger the faith, weaker whatever are the reactions of karma happens. So in the sense, he gave an example, because of your karma, if you are supposed to be losing your arm, instead of that, maybe karma will work and you will just get a small tiny cut on your little finger. In that context, to put it in context. And then finally, Srila Bhakti Charuswami in Tobacco Temple several years ago, there's one Mataji, we used to go from the Edison area all the way to Tobacco, which is, 40, 50 miles. And program gets over, you come home, it's pretty late in the night. So Maharaj was giving a class. So Mataji told Maharaj, I have my kids with me, small kids in the car. And when I'm driving, I feel very sleepy. So I just, say, Krishna, I'm in your hands now, you take care of me. And sometimes I doze off and I leave everything to Krishna. Now, in one sense, you may look at it as she has such strong faith. And Maharaj chastised her in a nice way. He said, please don't do that. We are supposed to be servants of Krishna. How can you expect Krishna to come and serve you? So this is the context of faith, Mataji, is, yes, the people like Haridas Thakur and all these personalities we read about and try to follow in their footsteps. Prabhu mentioned from sadhana we come to a certain stage, and then from raga we go to bhava. That faith is something which is, a prime mover. It's a prime mover and it's always there. It always is required. So with this, I thought I could relate to what you're saying, and I still struggle. Honestly, I still struggle with my faith. There's so much more I want to do. My conditioning is there.
Yeah.
But still,
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I just wanted to quickly share something regarding what you said about the finger and the cut. So my sister-in-law's house, the roof collapsed. And she had left she was with her grandson that day, and she had just left half an hour before, and they were both there. And it collapsed and everything came crumbling down. So, she was very in distress. And this is what I was telling her. I said, see, because you are so religious and because you have faith, both of you left the home in time. So so this is what faith is, ki agar haath katna hota hai, to finger cut jati hai, so, maybe God, because you have so much faith, he saved you from something major, it could have fallen on your head or your grandson's head, and you could have been in a worse crisis than just your roof falling down. And, so this is, that I know, I have heard that before, and I strongly believe in that. But thank you so much for sharing, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you. Hari Bol.
The best way is actually, yes, we are all under the spell of Maya. But Srila Prabhupada said that, do you have any guarantee? I mean, somebody asked this question, do you have guarantee that this process will work? And, if you just follow you, and what would happen to the, disciples like that? Srila Prabhupada replied, yes, I may be followed, but the process which revealed by the acharyas, and all the processes or spiritual masters of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to that this doesn't have any flows. What all we need to do that, I may be fallen, but if somebody follows these processes, there is no flows at all. So the point is, yes, so if you follow these processes that which is revealed to us, then that would definitely take us to the next level. That is very sure. And as we know that so many senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada, we know that where did they start from, and then now where they are now. That's very good example. And also another example of the South Indian Brahmana who was followed the spiritual master's order. Just read Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Even that devotee didn't much know about how to spell properly and things like that. But every day he was following that. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and saw that, and then embrace that devotee and take up that this is devotion because we just follow. And that's what is exactly even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, and said that when this Mayavadi sannyasis told him that why are you dancing when you chant the holy name? It should not dance, it should be sit and this should be like that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my spiritual master considered me as a fool. So he just gave me this mantra to chant loudly. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, when I chant loudly, I cannot control myself and I get the symptoms of ecstasy and then I chant and dance. So the first and the foremost is actually when we just have that faith in our Guru, spiritual master, and whatever the instruction that spiritual master gave, just follow and with strictly. Because of we may be fallen, but the process which is actually given to us by spiritual master and the spiritual master, they may be pure, and we just follow that pure and perfect, then we will also become perfect. So just wanted to share. Okay.
Very nice point, Prabhu. Very
Yes.
nice.
Sorry.
Very nice. Very nice point on we may be imperfect, but the process is perfect.
Yeah.
So as long as you're on the process, you're on the path. Doesn't matter front or back.
Yeah. So just follow the process. Yeah. Yeah. Like what is that? Gauranga Prabhu always gives this example, right? Yes.
Yeah.
The travel in the local train in the Mumbai.
Yeah.
Just be there in the middle of these devotees, in the middle of the platform. Automatically, the surge comes and you will be inside the train. You don't need to put much efforts. Be there in the middle of the train. If you want to come out, just be bidden. Stand there in the middle of the local train, in the entrance, and people will push you out and push you in. This is yeah. So yes.
Thanks for that.
Okay. Anything else? Otherwise, let's conclude today's session. Thank you so much, dear devotees, on this auspicious day. And tomorrow there is a program and evening, so we will not have Bhagavad Gita class, but rather we start at 8 o'clock for the Bhagavad Gita for the New Year's Eve program, and then we'll continue from there. And Saturday morning there is a japa. Please join in the morning. And yeah. So thank you so much.
Will someone be doing live darshan of deities tomorrow
Yes.
evening?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. Shama Sundar Prabhu is going to do that. Yes.
Okay, so he will broadcast it on the Zoom.
Yeah, he broadcasts this.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Wonderful. Anything else? Anybody? Okay.
Can I take this?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I remember that Gauranga Prabhu gave the one Mataji asking question. If saying that like the world looks like the and when we
It's breaking. I'm not hardly. I can hear you. I think there is some background noise or something.
are you okay?
1 minute. Yeah, now people, please speak now. I think there was a background noise. Yeah.
Gauranga Prabhu giving that always the example I'm hearing in the one of the class.
Yeah.
He that we are in the sea. Sea is nothing the material world, and we sit in the boat. So the wave comes. Sometime even shaking the boat, but when you are in sit in the boat, the most of chances you will cross the sea. But if you get out from the boat because of the shaking, then their chances is very less. Maybe you die or you lost himself.
Yep, exactly.
So, in Prabhupada, the boat and the material world, the sea, the wave comes. Sometimes they try to shaking us and check our faith, but we tightly hold the boat. The chances are there easily cross this the material world.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a wonderful point, wonderful example.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what it is. Bhagavad also explains that one who is in this process, in this path, crossing over this material ocean is just like crossing over the water contained in the footprint of a calf. Otherwise, it's so difficult, even if it is. So it's easy for such devotees who are following these processes. Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you so much, Jagdish Singh Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Pancha Kalpatarubhasya.
Jai.
Hari Hari.
Hari Hari.